question from James. First of all, he says that the shot of Michael reminds him of the shot of the unseen banker in Deal or No Deal.
I love that.
Because he's like a silhouette in there.
Yeah. Give us the number, Michael. Give us the number.
We have one NEWTEK PTZ3 UHD. Do you know if the HEX will work with that?
Okay, he's talking about the HEX for setting and clearing pan tilt limits. That specific HEX that I gave you will not, because that one is designed for PTZOptics. But essentially, the nice thing about what we have done here with our SuperJoy is we are giving you the ability to send an HTTP command, which is very common, UART, TCP, UDP. So there's a lot of different ways to send these commands. TCP is very common. What that is TCP is essentially a connection. I don't even remember what TCP stands for, to be honest. I'd have to look that up, but I should know that because it's kind of my job to know that. I'm gonna have to Google it real quick.
Transmission Control Protocol.
Okay, Transmission Control Protocol. And it's generally what happens with TCP is you have an IP address and you have a port. So the IP address of the camera for this scenario was 61. And then the port for PTZOptics is generally 5678. That's the port in which traffic flows through for control. So with the NEWTEK camera, my guess is that, it definitely has an IP address. It might not be the exact same port, but it definitely accepts commands. They might not be the exact command that I just showed you, which is look at this long string. And I will tell you that we are going to post a blog post about how to do it for PTZOptics cameras because we know that data. We have that written. But essentially what this command is, transmission control protocol. This hex code, what it says is the hex code is specific to setting a pan tilt limit, but some of these characters, okay, are those absolute limit numbers that we were showing earlier. Sure. So it's like a hex code that's specifically telling it, don't go any higher than this, don't go any further than that in the hex code. So it is a little complicated. We're going to have a blog post about it on our page. The documentation for NEWTEK, I would hope, has this information. But again, the moral of the story here is that we're giving you a lot of different ways to send commands. One of these will probably work. But there's no promises with other cameras. This is a really technical thing.
Yeah.
I can't promise you that it will work with a camera brand that we're unfamiliar with. Not that we're super unfamiliar with NEWTEK. I know that camera. In fact, we have one. And if you're using a SuperJoy, guess what? You can call our support and they will help you.
Yeah.
Right.
So our team is not just, I don't want to give the wrong impression that our team will only help with our cameras. Our support team will help with other cameras as long as you have a PTZOptics product of some kind, like our joystick. We do support people with Panasonic, people with other cameras. We will support you.
With the joystick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not on its own, of course.
And that's the magic, though. It's so customizable. It can work with any camera. You can customize it to do HTTP commands and really do whatever you'd like with your camera. If you have some special feature that your camera has, you can program that in the SuperJoy, even though it's not a PTZOptics camera.
Yeah, it's standards based, as I mentioned, right? So it's like everyone is pretty much using these Sony standards.
Mm-hmm.
So the documentation is actually fairly similar across camera brands, with Sony being the most popular.